Nory Ryan's song. Nory Ryan is an Irish girl who lives with her family. Their land is supervised by the Lord Cunningham, who doesn't care about the inhabitants of the land, but wants the land to be open and full of grazing sheep. Nory hears the sound of a house collapsing in the distance. Their neighbor hadn't been able to pay the rent for a long time, and they were breaking their house. Nory remembered a place where there might be a little bit more money to save their neighbor's house. Her creepy neighbor Anna, who she thought was a witch, had hidden a coin on the roof of her house. She runs to her house and pleads with Anna for the coin, and she gets it on the condition that she come work for her. She tries to get to the house in time, but as she is by Patrick's well, she is scared by her neighbor's dog, Maeve, and drops the coin into the well. Her neighbor's now homeless and gone. Nory takes Maeve home with her. Even though she knows that she can't feed the dog, she takes it home with her. They decide that they can at least try to feed the dog. Them not having much food, they decide to go poaching for fish in the stream and bring the dog with them. On the way to the stream, they meet Sean Red, who decides to come with them. While they are fishing, they almost encounter Lord Cunningham, but they narrowly escape. They bring back the fish, and when she gets back, Maggie, Nory's sister, tells them that she is going to America. She tells them that she is getting married, and that she will get to America that way. They don't know what they will do without Maggie, and it is a very sad departure and wedding. Maggie and her husband depart on the road for America. Somewhat in shock of Maggie leaving them, Nory takes Patch, her little brother, down to the beach to gather kelp. Shonred comes with them, and they talk about trying to get to America. Shonred tells her that she will be with him in America. Nory's sister comes running down to the beach, beckoning for Nory and Patch to come. When they arrive back, they find that it is Devlin, the tax collector. He reminds them that they have many taxes to pay and also informs them that the potatoes aren't doing very well and that there is a disease among the potatoes. After this, Nory decides that she should go to Anna's, even if she hates the woman. The first thing she does is milk Anna's cow for her, and Anna wasn't the kindest person about it. Anna and Nory check the potato plants, and they find that for now, they are all still good potatoes. Nory knows that she can't take care of the dog any longer, and Anna tells her that her son had a dog like Maeve. Anna agrees to take care of Maeve, as she is quite fond of the dog, and the dog of her. Nory is very worried, and she starts running to her own field. On the way back, she goes through her neighbor's field, which they just found had the disease. She continues home and checks their plants. So far, their potatoes aren't infected, and they will still have them for food. Nory and her family know that if they lose the potatoes, they will surely starve, but they try to think of ways that they would unrealistically survive in. That night, Nory is awakened by something. It is a fufar smell that Nory hopes isn't from the potatoes. Fufar means something along the lines of a bad smell in English. She and the older members of her family check on their own plants, and they find that the disease has spread to their potatoes. They harvest what they can, but it won't be enough. They decide that they will only have one meal a day at the end of the day, and that they will spend their days looking for food. Nory and Patch go to Anna's house, and she has already milked her cow. Anna talks about the people stripping the land when they don't have food. Anna gives Patch a drink of milk, but Nory doesn't ask for any, even though she is starving. When Nory and Patch get home, they are relieved that they can have their meal, but the potatoes have shrunk and turned black. In the morning, she begs to go with Sean and his friends to fish, but they tell her to gather limpets instead. When she goes down to the beach to gather food, she finds that there are a lot of people already there. As she gathers food, they see Lord Cunningham coming down the path. The owners of the boat that Sean and his friends were fishing in now belong to him, as they couldn't pay their rent. She still wants the milk from Anna, so she brings her limpets to her. Anna doesn't accept the trade, but gives her a tall cup of sweet milk. After this, she hears her family calling for her. Before she goes back, she leaves the bucket of limpets by the side of Anna's house, where no one will find it. It turns out that Maggie had sent them a package, and they needed to go and pick it up from the nearby post office. They, however, are very weak from lack of food, and it takes effort to arrive there. As they walk to the post office, they see a crowd break into the bakery and steal its contents. They see the brightly colored package on the shelf, but the postman tells them that they have dues on the package that haven't been paid, and that they could come back later once they have the money. The next day is Sunday, and they hear about a possibility of working on a new road from food and money. Granda, Nory's grandpa in our terms, wants to work on the road, but they think he is too old. Nory remembers the limpets and wants to go and get them. Celia decides to go to Lord Cunningham for work. Nory walks out into the dark and goes to where she left the bucket. Later that night, Celia comes back without praying before bed, and she doesn't tell them anything. A few days later, Celia tells them that she was laughed at when she went to Lord Cunningham's house and was rejected. Granda had tried to go and work on the road, but he wasn't allowed because of his age. Nory and Patch decided to go with some of the boys to the town to find other work. Along the way, she overhears a conversation between Devlin and some of the neighbors who had built themselves a shed. Originally, when they built the shed, their rent was raised because the property was better and worth more, and they had now taken it down. Devlin told them that they had just taken down Lord Cunningham's shed and made the property worse. After this, Nory and Patch couldn't go further, so Nory left Patch there. Nory had noticed that there wasn't a fire at Anna's house, and so she started there. Devlin had taken Anna's cow and pig, and Anna was laying down at her bed. Anna made Nory take the last of the milk, and she brought it to Patch. After they drank the milk, they made their way home. They were concerned about their father, who wasn't home from fishing yet, so they decided that Celia and Granda would go to the town to find him, and Nory would stay and watch Patch. When they left, Nory was lonely, and she needed to finish her knitting so that they could make the money from it. She didn't know what to do next with their knitting, so she went to Anna's house. They end up spending the night together, and when she wakes up, she sees that Anna has an apple for Patch and Nory to eat. Anna had also finished the shawl too. Later that day, she took the shawl to the town to sell it. She peered through the window of the inn and saw the wife of Lord Cunningham. She inspects it and gives Nory 3 coins in return. She knows that they need food, so she spends 1 coin on some wheat and oats for them. She spends the remainder of the coins on the dues for the package from Maggie. She starts bringing it home, but on the way back, a stranger takes all the packages from her and darts away. She tells this to Anna, and she falls asleep at Anna's house. In the morning, she has an idea of a way to get food. She tells Sean Red, whose hands are red and swollen from the road work, that she needs him to dangle her from a rope off the cliff so that she can get the birds' eggs. Sean doesn't think that they can do it, but regardless, they go to the cliffs. Patch is with them, so they put him in a bowl-shaped indentation in the rock where he can stay. They tie a rope around both of them, and Nory starts to climb down. After she climbs down for a while, she doesn't feel anything beneath her. The bird beneath her screeches, and Nory falls down to the ledge on top of the now dead bird. She gets most of the eggs and the dead bird and brings it back up. They now have a small but consistent food source and aren't in as bad a position as they were. Later, Shanride comes to Nory and asks her to come to America with them, as they have an extra ticket. Anna offers to watch Patch, but Nory decides that it should be Patch that goes to America. Nory, now living at Anna's house, decides to go and check on their actual house and finds a trail of rocks that Patch left there. As she is walking by a statue of a monk, which her father had built a cage around to protect it from the weather, she notices a piece of wood hidden at the side of the cage. As she looks at it, she notices that it is a piece of the package that Maggie had sent them, with a drawing of all of them in Smith Street, New York, together. She shows it to Anna, and a little later, Devlin asks Nory if Anna could help heal Lord Cunningham, who is sick. She agrees, but makes sure that Devlin promises to get Anna's dog back and to feed her. Devlin reluctantly agrees and rides away before she can ask any more questions. One of Nory's dad's work partners comes to talk to Nory and tells her that he is alive and almost done unloading the ship. He tells her that he has the tickets for her to go to America with Dad. There are 2 tickets, and she realizes that one must have been for Patch, but Patch already had a ticket, so this one could be for Anna. Anna doesn't agree to this, but makes Nory promise to go to America. Anna got her dog back, whom she loved dearly. Nory had become very good friends with Anna, and it was hard to leave, but soon she and her family would all be in America.